All right, so Adriana, given what you just said there, what are the immediate next steps being taken to fix the problem beyond this hearing?
Well, there's a lot already going on. Flint stopped tapping into its river water back in October. That's when it reconnected to water that they are buying from Detroit that's coming from Lake Huron that is properly treated. So the water going into Flint's water system is fine. The problem is the lead pipes are already corroded, some of them, so they've been stripped essentially. So what the city is doing and what the state is doing is adding additives, phosphate in particular, which will coat, rebuild that lining inside of those lead pipes to keep the lead out of the water. So far, it is improving, but there are still a lot of homes that are testing positive for dangerous levels of lead.
Adriana, what about the question of accountability? A lot of blame is going back and forth about which high-level officials should resign. We heard in your piece Governor Snyder admitted responsibility but blamed the EPA. What happens now on the accountability front?
Well, several people have lost their jobs. There are people at the State Water Quality Department that's technically known as the Department of Environmental Quality. Those are the folks in charge of setting the rules for Michigan to keep the water clean. Apparently, they say they misinterpreted the EPA guidelines for whether or not to treat water for lead when you make a switch to a new water system, or if you have to wait and see and then add the additive. So they're saying they misinterpreted the rules. A lot of those people, though, lost their jobs, and the chief administrator for the Midwest region that oversees Michigan in particular for the EPA, she has also resigned.
What about Governor Snyder, Adriana? Just after the hearing ended, the Detroit News posted a column by him with the headline, "Why I Testified," saying, quote, "I am not walking away from this problem. I am going to fix this." So how has the governor tried to get out ahead and respond to his critics?
Well, he has a ton of critics. There's actually a recall petition going on right now. Shortly, next Sunday, I believe, they're going to be going door to door to collect signatures, trying to get enough to be able to have an actual recall vote. So the recall movement against Governor Snyder is very real, and it is growing. However, he doesn't want to focus on that, obviously. He wants to be the leader of the solution. So what he's done to try to re-legitimize, try to have more credibility now, given the fact that Flint residents don't trust the governor, many of them don't trust the state for the most part. What he's done is hired or tapped the so-called heroes of this story. There are two doctors, Dr. Mona Hanna-Attisha, who's a local pediatrician, and Dr. Mark Edwards, who's a civil engineer from Virginia Tech, who was the first to really sound the alarm loudly about this problem. He's tapped both of them to be part of the recovery, to lead the recovery. Those two people are really the only folks that many Flint residents say they believe. So he has brought them into his inner circle to work with them on the recovery effort so that Flint residents can also be on board.
Adriana, I know you reported on this new investigation by USA Today raising questions about tap water nationwide. So how widespread does the report suggest this problem is?
Extremely widespread. There are 2,000 water systems nationwide that have high levels of lead getting into the water. So water systems, that can be water utilities for cities, for towns, it could be schools individually, and roughly 22 million people are folks that are actually drawing from that water. So it is a very serious issue, and a lot of the scientists are saying that while Flint is an enormous tragedy, it is bringing this lead issue to light, and it is worse than a lot of people imagined.
All right, Adriana Diaz at the Capitol for us. Adriana, thank you.